Well, so I'm going to go through two things tonight, and I'm just going to go through them. The two topics are meditation, and really we can do a meditation, but really more important than that is establishing your practice and hearing about. I want to hear about your practices and what you've been doing. And the second thing I'm going to share is I want to go through the thought matrix again and make sure that everybody understands that. Um, and that's what I have to say. So without there's a problem with the colors on here. I'll have to fix that because I'm having trouble reading some of these colors. We changed the colors of things on the Discord server. Anyway, that's I'm in my own head here. All right. So the most important thing that I want to share with you is that if you have a meditation routine, you have to have a morning and an evening meditation routine. You have to have the two endpoints to your day. This is kind of like putting your 2 feet on the ground and building a spiritual practice. If you don't have these two anchor points in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, let's say you only do it at night, then your spiritual practice is one, it's kind of anchored by the one thing. If you only meditate in the morning, your spiritual practice, if you don't have a normal morning and evening routine, then your spiritual practice is unanchored. You have to, what I found is in order to really, you've got to have a morning and an evening routine, not only to anchor yourself, but also as a repository to add the things that you learn through the day, the things that you may hear from me, the things you read in a book, the things you hear from other people. Oh, I want to definitely incorporate that into my practice. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good teaching. Because I could teach you all kinds of things, but if you don't have a morning and an evening routine to put them in as a repository, you're just free floating. You're just off on your own. So it's really, really important. I want to share with you that it's wait till this new person comes in. It's really important to establish the morning and the evening routine. Now, does anybody here have a solid or been working? I mean, some of you have known me for only 4 or 5 days. Is there anybody here who has established a morning and an evening routine? Is anybody struggling with it? Is anybody trying to establish the routine? Like, where are you guys in this process?
I'm trying.
So tell me your experience. When did we meet, Brian? When did you come to a first class? A couple of weeks ago, right?
So I came here about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're in
So
Australia.
yes, I'm in Australia. Yes,
I
so
hear the
it's
accent now. I
it's in the
remember the
morning. So
conversation. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I've been trying to just to be quiet, in the morning, the evening, for a short period of time. But it's very hard to do. I guess it's not hard. It's hard to stick to plan. It's always hard. Um, yeah, so still trying. It's I think it's because of laziness. I think. Really don't know what it is. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to share. It's just been kind of struggling with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my thought, it's an intention, right? So it's really on you to what is your level of intention. What where do if you were to fast forward, 7 years from now, what's your spiritual practice going to look like? Well, it isn't going to get there unless you have the intention now to build the base. Oh, I'm going to be doing this and that. Well, no, because you can't, you got to do the most basic things. So right now you got to take care of the little things, the morning and the evening, and make it a habit. So after about 3 days, look, I mean, we're all in the same boat. When you start a new habit, I have the intention of starting the habit, but by definition, because it's not a habit, everything else gets in the way. Our time, our priorities, our day, our thoughts, everything is governed by habits. So the goal here, the higher level meta goal, is to establish new habits, to take control of your own habits, as opposed to be under the control of unseen habits. So in the morning, I know for most people, morning happens to be the time when I'm least rushed, because I'll work late at night writing and whatnot. I'll, come to bed sometimes 12:31, 1:30 in the morning, and I don't really feel like doing a whole, 30-minute evening routine. So for me, the mornings are the better time for me. I just, and again, I told you it's not just about meditation. So you have to incorporate several different things into a routine. You've got to stretch, you've got to breathe, you have to read a book, you have to do a spinal stretch. I mean, just, give yourself an energy massage, ground yourself when you wake up, do different things, then sit down and meditate. And if you can pack all that into about, which you can, because the stretching and the breathing, everything I just said, takes about 2 minutes. Just stretch, breathe, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then just sit down, count to three, count to eight, count to three, count to eight, stand up, and go on with your day. Take care of the kids, catch the bus, make your breakfast, do whatever it is you want to do. If you can't do that before you get active with your day, then you need to find a time, at 8:30 or 9 in the morning when you're at work or whatever. Maybe you can do this while you're driving. But you have to have a routine. And the reason you have to have a routine is if you don't establish a routine, you'll never have a routine. So you have to do the hard work in the beginning. You have to demand, set the intention, disrupt yourself, pull yourself out of your comfort zone, and make a routine in the morning, and then make a routine at night. For most people, the evening is easier because you just shut everything else off. You just retire for 15 or 20 minutes and stretch, breathe, read a book, and meditate. It's just that simple. It's really about intention. Does that make sense, Brian? Because no one's stopping you from doing that, right? It's just,
While talking to you, I realized I don't want to be spiritual. I just want to be happy. I just want to be myself, right? Um, and all these practices, it almost seems like I want to be spiritual, and this is not what my heart wants to be. I'm not sure if that's the reason, yeah, but I just realized it that, I don't want to be doing this to be spiritual. And also, I realized I can't be quiet. I always want to do stuff like, you know, I want to watch videos. I just, it's almost like I'm scared of being quiet for some reason. I think I need to explore it. Um,
I think you'll find, because I feel the same way too. I always have to be active. I get bored very easily. Um, and I would say that it's mostly nervous habit. Mostly nervous habit. I think you haven't read the book, The Cycle of Mind, right? I'm
no,
assuming you have.
I've got the audiobook, but I haven't
Yeah.
started yet. Yeah.
The essence of that book is that we are ruled by our subconscious. You're ruled by something, but you don't really know what it is. All your habits, all your routines, all your desires, everything is mostly all of it is bubbling up from the subconscious. It's deeply buried. It's subconscious, meaning it's impossible to know what it is because it's subconscious. That's why it's the word sub. It's underneath your conscious awareness. And you're being governed by all of these things. So when I say, and I sympathize with you, I can't sit still. Where's that coming from? Like, who's stopping me from sitting? It's not coming from the outside. It's not like someone saying, oh, no, no, don't sit still. You got to keep moving. Nope. No one's telling me this. It's coming from the essence of me. It's coming from the inside. And so, yeah, you do need to think through this. And the way you overcome these subconscious issues is by intentionally creating a new habit or intentionally creating a new character trait, for example. And when you intentionally do something one, two, three, four, 5 times, mind will say, no, 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 I don't want to do that. Nope, nope, nope. And it's going to fight against you because it wants to stay in the status quo. That's what the subconscious does. It doesn't want to allow you to change. So this is again why you need a community, why you need to bounce off of people, why you really can't do this by yourself. You can, but you can't. You can try, but you'll be off on your own. this is why you need accountability. Because if you can consistently repeat the habit, repeat the habit, repeat the habit, repeat the habit, all of a sudden, this whatever it was that was subconsciously trying to hold you down is now getting pissed off and it starts to erupt. And now it becomes visible. Once this, whatever it is that's limiting you is visible, you can just zap it and it disappears. It no longer holds power over you, no longer guides you or controls you. So this longer term journey, and this has nothing to do with spirituality. And the only reason personally I use the word spiritual is because it's a common word. And I also do study five systems. I study Taoism and Tibetan Buddhism and non-dual Shaiva Tantra and I don't know, one or two others, Vedic systems of spirituality. So it's just it's kind of a catchword for that. And I probably have a different view of reality and, what I think about spirituality than you do. So I don't want to say I'm in your camp, but I do understand what you're saying. It's not about a religion. That's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to get control of your life. You're trying to be more in command. You're trying to be more ahead of life. You want to know where you're, instead of being driven by subconscious things, you would like to be more, you say happy. The reason you're not happy, the reason most people aren't happy is because they're not in control. And when you're out of control, you feel unhappy. You feel worried.
But can you truly be in control?
Uh-huh.
That's
Not
that's
not
what I've
not
been
100%
wondering.
of the time, but a lot more
I've been
than
hearing.
a lot more than you are, a lot more than I am. There's always room for more. I don't think you can be completely, I mean, maybe there are people um, who are literally are in complete control and they could deal with whatever comes their way and they just sit quietly all day and they're in complete control. I'm not. I like to do things. I like to, I plan ahead. I go to the game. I like stuff. I like to engage in the world. But what's the goal for you, Brian? And then we'll go back to the general group. What's the goal for you? You just want to be happy. You want to be present.
Yes. I had huge anxiety for my whole life, which I pretty much healed in the last 2 years. Now I'm just handling the kind of a lot of emotions that have been suppressed in me for years, which were not obvious previously, but now they're all like erupting, and then I don't know how to describe it. Everything is just coming out, and I've been very depressed in the last, I don't know for how long, maybe 2 months or so, and I've been in this weird spot where it's very hard for me to do anything. It's previously I talked how I could stay there for 2 hours, no problems. I could be closing my eyes and having all this kind of spiritual experiences, for 2 hours. But I can't do anything now. It appears that I don't know. I don't want to be a psychological consultation, but this is where I'm at the moment. I just want to be happy. I want to be myself. I think that's pretty much it. But I'm not myself. I feel like I feel like I'm always pretending. Um, yeah, not happy at the moment.
Okay. That's you.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot to unpack. Um,
Mm.
so you talk about anxiety and stress and depression. Now, some of those things, here's the thing too, Brian. I can't fix you. Nobody can fix
Yeah.
you. You're here because you want to be fixed. But the ultimate message is you have to fix yourself. Here are the tools, but you've got to pick them up. You have to have the intention or a trust, I even, to use the tools. Having a morning routine and an evening routine can definitely help you find a little bit of balance. right? Well, the problem is if you have no, just going back to that, without any anchor in your day, you're just like a balloon where they let the air out and it goes, just goes in all different directions because there's nothing guiding it. You need to set your own guideposts. At the minimum, you should have these two things. Then you can fill the morning and fill the night with the kind of tools and exercises that are going to help you personally. If sitting still with your eyes closed and meditating for 10 minutes is not what you want, or it is what you want, in other words, this is your time to do what you want. This is your time to do what you think you need to do to heal. Does that make sense? If you don't have the habit of sitting with yourself, of being with yourself, of being disciplined or organized or in control for a few moments during the day, and you're out of control, I can't. I try to have a morning meditation. It's out of control. Something inside me. I don't know. Oh, I
I
can't
think
have
you're
an evening
exactly
meditation.
right.
I just can't
I'm
do it. I
all over
just
the
can't. I'm out
place.
of control. I can't even do that. I can't even do the simplest thing, have a morning and evening routine. If you don't have that, what are you really doing? You're nothing. You have to establish a rhythm, a routine, a basic routine. And for Yamina, before you came in, we're talking about the first subject here is the essential of forming a morning and an evening routine. Even if it's just trying for a minute, just that's a minute better than you did yesterday. Just try, do something in the morning and something at
Yeah.
night. Look, you're not going to, sit in deep meditation for 45 minutes morning and night. Some people do that, but that's something maybe you'll work up to. Maybe you want to do something different, but you've got to have control over something in your life. And if you can control these two things in your life, then you can start controlling the middle moments. But if you can't even control the morning and the night, if you can't control before as soon as you wake up and before you go to bed, you're never going to control anything else throughout the day. Because anxiety, I can tell you, fear, worry, anxiety, it all comes from feeling like you're not in control. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen, and therefore I'm anxious. When you're in control and you know what's going on, you look like you have a job, you look like I don't know, you strike me as like an engineer or something where you have that look
Yeah,
where you're in
exactly, exactly.
control, right? You're in control of your job and you don't have anxiety about your job because maybe you have anxiety about your boss and, am I going to keep my job or all that? But when you do your work, you don't have anxiety because you know what you're doing. You know how to start, you know what happens in the middle, you know how to end it, you know how to start the next project. This is what you need to do with your life. You need to look at your life as an engineering project. And if you can't grab control, if you just can't, you first of all you can, but if you don't overcome those forces that are pulling you down, and you don't say, hey, I don't want to, this is how I want to be. I'm this way now. This isn't good for me. I want to be this way. You can't just put a post-it on the mirror and say, I'm this way now. You have to work at it every day. Rhythms and cycles, daily routines. Oops, I went backwards, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm going to keep going forward. And again, it's hard to pull yourself out of this gravitational field without somebody else is already up there pulling you up and helping you. If you try to do it
Yeah.
yourself, you'll always get drawn back in.
I just realized I've been reacting to my emotions every day. This is exactly what I'm doing. I have no anchors, as you said before. I'm just reacting every day to my emotions and out of control. Um, and I don't know what it is yet. It's been happening for like 2 months, but I don't know what it is yet. But I think I know what exactly I should do. I should do now. Um, and yeah, I'm very happy. I really appreciate it, Alan. I really appreciate it. Yes, that's exactly my problem now, I think.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can kick you in the ass a little bit and get you to. It really is about intention. That's the most important thing. What is my intention? And if I tell you if I write down my intent, if I just speak my intention out, that's one thing. If I speak it and write it, that's another thing. If I speak it and write it and then tell you, hey Brian, hold me accountable to this. That's the ticket there. Speaking, saying I'm going to do this. How many times have I tried to, quit whatever the addiction is? I tried to quit a billion times. It's this is the last time I'm ever going to eat sugar. I say at 11:30 at night as I scrape the ice cream off the bottom of the bowl. I'm never going to eat sugar again.
That
That's my
sounds
intent.
very
Speak my
familiar.
intention. Exactly. and then I'll write my intention. Then I put it on a post-it. I don't eat sugar anymore. That's not good enough. You need to have the intention, then you need to have accountability. This is why the community is so important. You need to have accountability so that the accountability leads to actual behaviors, because the words don't lead to behaviors. The post-it and the writing it down doesn't lead to behaviors. But doing that and telling somebody else and saying, hold me accountable. And don't just say, hold me accountable. That person needs you to hold them accountable because they're struggling with whatever they're struggling with. Your thing is just trying to start a morning and evening routine. They may be struggling with food or whatever it is that you don't have a struggle with. So you've got to help each other. Without that, you're just a free electron trying to do your best without anything to bounce off of or measure against. What's the odds of you ever succeeding all by yourself? That's what I've found. That's why I started the community. Without other people to hold you together, we're all just by ourselves trying to do our best, and we're all at the mercy of our. You don't understand how powerful your subconscious is. That's the thing. I'm sitting here, I understand it. It's very, very powerful. It does not, it wants to stay exactly the same. And so when you try to make a change, it does not want to change. And it'll pull very hard, and you'll feel very uncomfortable trying to change. Like you feel like just can't quite start a morning routine. I just can't quite do it because something's pulling you to say you're not going to do that. No, no, no.
Will it reach a point where everything is easy? Like whatever you want to do is easy.
I don't know the
Will
answer
it
to that.
ever?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that. Here's my opinion, right? I just put up a post on the thing. I put it in the library of wisdom there. It's called the prison paradox. And I'm not answering your question directly, because I don't know that there is an answer. The prison paradox. If you're in prison with a lot of people, and all of a sudden, you see that I never saw that before, and you look, and oh, there's a tunnel, and you can go out of the prison, and you can go a mile underground, and boop, you pop out in the woods. No one will ever know you left. Right? You're out of the prison. Finished. Done. Do you leave, or do you come back in and try to get more people out? But here's the thing. Once you come back into the prison, you're already free. You're still in the prison, but you're free. You don't have to stay there if you don't have to be this way anymore. You're free now because you know at a moment's notice I can leave when if I want to. But here's the thing. I'm free, right? I know I'm free. I come back for more people. But here's the thing. I still go to work. I still love my kids and my wife. I still have responsibilities and obligations. I still have to, I don't want to go visit the in-law. I don't want to do it. You still have to do all of those things. Life is a gift, but it's also there's work involved. And so that's what we're here for. We're here, but the difference is I know how it all works. So I've gotten out of the prison and can come back in. I can leave the prison anytime, but I don't want to because I want to bring more people with me. So does it ever get easy? What do you mean by easy? Is like there no work? Do you just, float 3 feet above the ground all day in your golden robe and the wind in your hair and everything's beautiful?
But
No,
you know you
life
can do it, right? Yeah.
life yeah, and or yeah, I can't quite do that, but the point is, what's the point of life? Is the point of life to be easy? Is the point of life to be difficult? Is the point of life to be challenging? Is the point of life for you to challenge other people, for you to lift people up? What's your purpose? We'll talk about the thought matrix in a minute, but what's your guiding purpose? Where are you going? Because if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have an angle that you're walking towards, then life seems pointless. I mean, there's a lot of things you got to fix there, and you're at the very beginning. That this is a multi-month, multi-year journey. It's not just read a book and you're better, or meditate for 5 minutes in the morning and you're better. I will tell you, if you set up a morning and an evening routine, now you have a foothold on life. Now I can start planning. Now I can write out my thought matrix. Now I can, write my intentions. Now I can go on the chat and say hey to my buddies because I'm in a good frame of mind. You've got to get yourself in a good frame of mind in a controlled state in the morning and the night. If you don't have that basic platform, you're just like a balloon with the air coming out of it. You're just bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do
That's
you want it
great.
to be easy? I mean, you just want to be happy, right? You just want to be
I
present in the
just, I
moment,
just,
not overthink things. Uh,
I just don't want
not
to be trying things because I feel like trying things is hard. Like
Mhm,
trying, like really
mhm.
trying. I don't want to be doing that. I just want to relax, be myself. Like, don't want to be pretending to be me,
So
right?
why don't
I'm
you
just
take the
me.
morning
Yeah.
routine and the evening routine and make that the time when you are yourself, when you're not
Yeah.
beholden to anything, you're not trying to do anything for anybody else. You're just trying to find, as we said in the meditation class, balance. That's what the morning meditation routine is about, finding balance. That's what the evening routine is about, finding balance. Balance.
Yeah.
I think that would help you. Well, it can't hurt, that's for sure.
I think it would absolutely help me. Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And you're a thoughtful person too. So you understand that, you do something, there's a reason, then there's a higher reason and a higher reason. There are many higher reasons why you want to establish an anchor point in the morning and at night. A lot of reasons. Not just because Alan said it's a good idea. You're smart. This is how you're going to be able to find balance. If you get a good idea, you can add it into your morning routine. Now you're doing that every morning, every day. If you get a mantra that hits in your head, hey, I'm worth it, I'm enough, you add it to your meditation. And this is how you communicate with yourself, more or less. This is when you journal. This is when you're doing your own work. So make your morning routine and your evening routine about not trying, about being genuine, being yourself. It's your journey. This is to everybody. It's your journey. It's not, I'm just telling you what I do or how other people do it. But at the end of the day, you've got to take this and convert it into your own journey so it meets your needs. Not everybody's at the same level. Not everybody wants to, escape the prison and become enlightened and, see the other side. Not everybody wants that. Some people, just want to find balance in their life. Peace and balance. Why don't you make your morning routine about peace and your evening routine about balance, or vice versa? Peace and balance every day. Peace and balance every day. At least for a few minutes, right? Then the rest of the day, then I can teach you techniques how to bring that like during the day as well. But if you don't have the morning and the evening, we're just wasting our time.
I'm so happy now. It looks like I know exactly what I need to do, and I'll be starting tonight.
Good.
Yes.
What is it? 7:30
Cool.
in the morning where you are
It's nine, half past nine at the moment, so
in the
I
morning.
have to work. So yeah,
Excellent.
but
Yeah. And don't wait till tonight. Start writing out your map for what you're going to do in your morning routine and your evening routine. Stretch, breathe. I got a whole list here. Stretch, breathe, expand your lungs. Think about one new habit or skill that you want to work on. Um, Gratitude. What are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? Do something generous. Do something kind and thoughtful. Talk on the Discord community and, make a friend and get some accountability. Do something that resonates with your purpose. Read a book for 5 minutes. Make a list of things you're going to do every morning and every night and just build your your morning and evening routine. Why not?
yeah, starts today. Yes. Cheers,
Yes,
Alan.
not
That's
tonight.
great.
Today. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. How's everyone else doing? Yamina, I know you just started, and then Elaine, if you want to share too. But Yamina, I know you just started with the morning. We just met on Sunday. How's and I know you've been checking in on the community a little bit. Tell me about your experience with building a routine in the morning and night.
Hey everyone. Listen, building a routine. It's challenging. Um, these couple of days I've been consistent with it. Um, just not trying to overthink things. And also, when you told me that journaling is a form of meditation, instead of just getting somewhere and sitting down and having to close your eyes and be quiet and all of that, I don't have to do that all the time. I can walk in the park, I can journal, I can stretch, I can exercise. Um, yeah,
Yeah, so you're being really gentle with yourself, is what you're saying. You're trying to start a new habit, but you're doing it in a gentle way.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not being rigid and saying it has to be like this, or Alan said it has to be these five things, so it has to be those. So you're not being rigid. You're just forming. But the key is, are you forming a new habit? That's the key. That's the real question.
just trying to go with the flow, if that makes any sense.
Well, let me ask you again. Are you forming a new habit in the morning and a new habit at night? Are you actually forming a habit, or you're
Yeah,
just sometimes yes, sometimes no, do whatever I feel like? Because I'm okay with the do whatever I feel like as long as it's within the framework of a morning and an evening routine. Then, of course, during the day, of course, do what you want. But in the morning and evening routine, you need to do something. You need to be very intentional or specific. Within that, you can be very gentle with yourself. You don't have to be rigid, but you do have to be rigid about creating this rhythm. This morning and evening rhythm is very important. No matter how you fill up the time, no matter what you make it about, whether it's journaling or singing or, you know, doing whatever, stretching, breathing, meditating, whatever
mhm.
you do, it's important that you build these two habits. Are you on that path?
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm working on distractions too.
What do you mean by that?
Um, being distracted with my phone and what everybody else wants me to do.
So
You know,
is that something you're experiencing in the morning and night that's getting in the way of your routine, or is it just something
Uh,
throughout the day that you're just trying to watch less TV, watch less TikTok?
yeah, yeah. Less social media and try to stick with my goals.
Hmm.
That's what I have. What I would like to do, and try to stick with it without allowing trying to put me first, if that makes any sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Putting me first instead of doing what everybody else wants me to do. Taking time out for me. And that's what I'm working on. Like I said,
Yeah.
being consistent. Um, and forming a habit, creating a habit to where it just feels like second nature, I guess.
Right. When it's hard to meditate at night, for example, once you meditate at night, and when I say meditate, I use the word balance. Once you're in an evening routine like that, where you're stretching, breathing, reading a little bit, meditating, journaling, whatever it is you're doing, once you're in that routine, 3 months from now, you couldn't imagine not, I can't imagine going to sleep without at least a few minutes of disconnecting, right? A habit, the way our lives work is the way we spend our time is governed by our habits. We are not aware of it. Whenever someone says, "Oh, come to the meditate," oh, I don't have time for that. I just laugh because it's not that you don't have time for that. It's you have all the time in the world for that. You waste time on a trillion things. You're just doing them by habit. So
Mhm.
anything that's outside of that comfort zone, you by definition don't have time for, or I'm not interested in that, or I don't have time for that, or that'll never work because it's not something you're doing. So the word habit is the most important word, Yamina. You've got to establish, and you're on the way, establish a morning habit and an evening habit. And exactly what you said, be gentle with yourself, include whatever you want to include. We'll do the meditation again tonight. So I think it's what I do in the morning and it's what I do at night. This meditation, the chakra tickling, we'll do it again. It's an important meditation for a whole bunch of reasons. So we were talking about, Brian, it has this reason and then meta levels on top of that. So a lot of reasons why this is a particularly important meditation. Try to do that every morning and night, but more important than anything, I don't care what you do. I don't care how long it takes. Just do something in the morning and night until your mind starts to say, oh, okay, he's serious. Oh, he really going to do this. All right. And then mind gets involved. And once it's a habit, you have to do something every morning. You have to, otherwise you won't feel right. It'll be
Mm.
the opposite. Instead of not having time for it, you'll have to make time for it. You'll always have time for it. And if you
Right.
miss it, you'll be all out of balance. Wait a minute. I didn't do my morning meditation routine. Hold on. Let me do it right now. That makes sense?
Yes, it does. I have a question.
Please.
How how do you not let your mind wander when you're trying to sit down and after you do the breathing part in and out to relax your body? How do you just let your mind wander to wherever it wants to go? Or do you just try to control the thoughts? Or would like a guided meditation help?
Yes. So the you're asking the question, how do you stop your mind from wandering
Yeah,
during meditation?
yeah.
Okay, because there's a whole nother thing is how do you stop your mind from wandering throughout the day, which is a whole nother thing. But how do you stop your mind from wandering during meditation? I said it before, I'll say it again. The people that meditate for 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, they're not thinking about nothing. Trust me on that. They're not thinking about nothing. They have an entire sequence of thoughts that they go through. So, what I'm telling you is when you sit down to meditate, my meditations are, as anyone else compared to real meditators, my meditations are very short. When I'm talking about my personal practice, very short. Occasionally, when I'm done with my little short thing, I'll sit there and just kind of bliss out or just keep going. I usually count to 8. I might keep going, and new thoughts come in my head, and then I remember to just keep going. So I might stay much longer in a meditation, but for me, I say it 3 and 8, 3 and 8, and I'm out. So let me tell you what I mean by 3 and 8. So let's meditate now for a few minutes.
Okay.
So just relax your shoulders, your neck, the whole thing. Doesn't really matter what you do with your hands. So let's say I just stretched. Let's say I just did some deep breathing. Let's say I did my grounding and I'm all good. And now I'm ready to, maybe I've read a couple of paragraphs of a book and now I'm ready to sit down and meditate. 3 and 8. So let's focus on three first. Three, if you're just starting, would be the three diaphragmatic breaths. But here's the key. This is the secret. Before you take the first or as you're taking the first diaphragmatic breath, if you're feeling, I'll use the word my wife hears, jittery, if you're feeling jittery or unsettled at all, or you don't really have it yet, don't start counting yet. Keep going until you are ready to start the first three breaths. And the secret in Taoism, they call it reversing the light. The secret is to take your inner sight and instead of thinking about a million things, reverse the light and put your awareness inside your body. And until you get that anchored, you're not ready to start your three diaphragmatic breaths. Only when you reverse the light, I mean, you replace the word light with awareness. Only when you reverse your awareness and are now looking inside your body. Now I'm going to take three diaphragmatic breaths, nice and gentle. If I'm still nervous or jittery or just don't have it yet, I just keep going, shake it. I'm not ready to do my three yet. So this is the key to how you start your meditation. Do three, literally put your mind's eye on your diaphragm and do three relaxed diaphragmatic breath and keep doing until you can do three relaxed diaphragmatic breaths. It may take you several tries. Don't try to breathe. Just let the diaphragm move. And all you're doing is putting your mind's eye on it and watching it move. You're watching it expand and contract. So the secret is don't start until you've reversed your awareness. When the awareness is reversed and now is looking on the inside, now you can start. And always have to give yourself something to do. Don't just sit there and just look at yourself on the inside and try not to think about anything. No, think about three easy diaphragmatic breaths. Again, if you still feel nervous or tension or whatever, start again. Now we're going to do 8 chakra tickling breaths. There's a ball of light at the very base of your spine. As you breathe in, nice and gentle, you can feel that ball of light moving up through your spine, right through each of the spinal chakras, spinning them, massaging them. Keep breathing in until the light leaves the crown, the number 1, and then allow that light, hold it up there for 2 or 3 heartbeats. And then when you exhale very slowly, allow that light to bathe your chakras. We're starting with the crown and just feel it. Oh, just feel it like a, wow, that feels good. Feel it go all the way down your spine. That's 1. Let's do 8. When you get into this relaxed rhythm, when you get into this relaxed rhythm, you can start now expanding your meditation practice and start to do different exercises. One thing that I do, especially first thing in the morning, is I turn my sight in and I literally go vertebrae by vertebrae, starting at the very bottom. You know how your vertebrae have these holes in them where your nerves, your whole nervous system goes out into your legs and all through your organs and your body. I literally go vertebrae by vertebrae and feel the nerves that are leaving that vertebrae and just relax as if the bones weren't even there. I just now become my nervous system. Relax. The key to everything is don't start until your awareness is turned in and you've got control. You're not jittery anymore. You have control of your breath, and you're never going to lose control of your breath. If when you're counting to 8 and the thoughts infiltrate, that's okay. Keep your mind back on your task. But usually when you keep your mind focused on a very specific task or a very specific inner sight task, the thoughts don't infiltrate. So that's 3 and 8. And I do that twice, 3 and 8. We're doing the thought matrix. So I might say as my 3, I might just think of the word thoughtful. That would be my number 1. Turn my sight in, picture the word thoughtful. That becomes number 1 for me. Then a number 2 might be the word generous. The next might be caring or healthy or helping other people or whatever it is you want to think about, whatever positive values you want to put inside yourself. This is the time to do it. So while I say you don't have to sit down and meditate to have a morning routine and an evening routine, the meditation is an inner repository for the thoughts that you want to think. So it is important because now you're alone with your thoughts. And I just want to put right now the word health into my body. So I turn my sight in and just breathe in and out and just watch the word health. Roll it around in my head, what it means to me, let it literally percolate. See, health is the words. There's, what is that, 5 letters? It's just letters. You want to feel what health really feels like. You want the feeling behind the word. I want to let that feeling of health go all through my body. These are just different things you can do. There's an infinity of things you can do. But when you're in the morning and in the night, don't overcomplicate it. And you don't have to do it for hours and hours. 3 minutes is good. 5 minutes is good. 10 minutes is good. 20 minutes is great. I don't think in my whole life I've meditated more than 20. I mean, really sat there quietly and did that for more than 20 minutes. That would probably be my max. Not that I couldn't do longer. I just want to get up and go do something. And one more thing, you don't want to become obsessed with meditating. There are people who are obsessed with this, and that also is out of balance, just in a different way. They're just out of balance in a different way. They're completely obsessed with it. They can't just meditate for 5 minutes. It has to be 2 hours. Otherwise, it doesn't count. You're not as, I mean, they get totally wrapped up in it. That's obsessive in itself and also imbalanced. So the three areas of your life that you have to balance is you have to find this meditative balance. You have to find this morning and evening routine. You have to learn. The second area is you have to spend time cultivating your energy system. And the third is, which we'll talk about now, is the thought matrix. You have to actually decide what values and principles that you stand for. You make a decision as to what you actually stand for. That's you create your thoughts, you establish your values, you create plans and blueprints for the future. So the first one is balance and meditation, the second one is health and energy, and the third one is mind and intention. And if you don't have those a balance between those three activities, in other words, you could be in complete control of your mind, but you don't have any meditative balance, so you're not balanced. Or you could be meditatively balanced, but you can't hear me? What the heck? Yamina, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's weird.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, now it's just us. So, what would you like to chat about, Yamina? It looks like everyone else has left us.
I know.
So this is for you.
Okay. I haven't really thought about that.
Have you this might be a book you might like. I don't know if you will like it, but you would give it a try. It's called The Cycle of Mind.
Mine.
And what it's about is it explains how mind works. And you talk like, how can you stop your mind from doing a million things? Well, here's the secret. You can't really stop your mind from doing all those things. Your mind is like a fountain. It's not going to stop just because you want it to stop. It doesn't work like that. It just keeps going and going and going. So the secret of the cycle of mind is to put your mind onto something so that when your mind is going, it's going on the things you want it to go about. So you might, for example, put your mind on health. So all day long, your mind can't stop thinking about health. That's a good thing, right? You told it what to think about, as opposed to you want to think about health and it wants to think about something over here. It wants to complain
Well,
about politics
yeah, the past.
or whatever. It could be the
Things that
politics. It could be
change.
anything. Right? You want to guide your mind. That's the point of the cycle of mind. You want to learn how do you want to teach your mind to move to where you want it to do. Just like when we did that chakra meditation, you want to keep your mind, first of all, keep your awareness on the inside. Don't let it get diluted out there. Turn your light inside, and then you're giving yourself a task. Move that ball of light right up my spine. As it goes up my spine, it feels great. I feel it. And as it comes down, it's a beautiful feeling. And all of a sudden, I did one, and I haven't thought about anything else because I gave my mind a task.
Hmm.
And if you don't map out your values, if you don't map out your plans for the future, if you don't map out the things you want to be in life or the things you want to do in life, if you don't map them out, they're very unlikely to happen because then you're just counting on some random things that are never going to really get organized. You have to take control of your mind and organize it and move it to where you want to. So Elaine, can you hear us now?
I can. I don't know what happened. Something came across the screen and said something about default or something. So I had to go back into my settings, but I got it back on again.
Brian had the
Somehow.
same problem. He left also. He said he couldn't hear us anymore.
Yeah, something, I don't know what happened.
So tell me, Elaine, about your practice, and particularly we were talking about the cycle of mind. Have you, I think I remember you had started the book.
Yeah, I'm on my second. I'm reading it slow because I want to digest it. Um, I tend to be the type that when I want to, I want to do things really fast. Let's get this and let's get it now. So I think when I'm on the second chapter, um, I think I've always known that I have the power to change and the power to it's been a knowing, but I don't think I ever exercised it as much as much as I have been probably for the last 5 or 6 years. I've been learning a lot about the subconscious mind, and you're right, it is powerful. And I know there's a lot of beliefs in there that have stopped me from well, it's how I've made my decision throughout my whole life. It's belief and things I've been told that I believed. So it is an interesting journey into the subconscious mind because I was very amazed how negative my thoughts were. Everything kind of came to the surface, and it was like, is this me? Is this who I really and truly am? Like these thoughts, it was like a Pandora's box. Everything just kind of came up at one time, and it was like, and they're not my thoughts. They're not. It's not who I am. So I got into the practice of I really want to know who I am, and that's on a spiritual level. Um, because I think we are creators, but we haven't been taught that. So it's definitely a journey. So for me, with my morning practice is the easy one, and I'm finding for myself that it's a discipline along with an intention. Maybe they're both one and the same thing, but I find that I have this little child within it saying, "No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." It's like you're so I'm finding, and what I've come to the conclusion is I don't wait to feel like it, if that makes any sense. It's like I used to say, well, when I feel like doing it, I will. But it's no longer that. It's a discipline. And it's like, and you're right, because you start doing it. I can't do the morning without my routine anymore. It's like brushing my teeth. It's like, I don't know if I've told you, but I do the grounding. I go outside, get the sunlight first thing. I breathe outside. I do my breathing exercise outside, and I exercise every day, which I was getting very passive as far as exercise. I was getting very complacent, and um, I could tell that physically. So, exercise, and not a lot. I'm not like the type that, I'm going to go to the gym but I make sure that even after 45 minutes of sitting, I'll get down and do something, or get up and do something. So health has been right at this particular time has been in the forefront of my mind is health. Eating, I went on a keto diet because I've got autoimmune. I've got eczema, and I've been seeing if I can do something about that with the keto diet. So I'm very aware of what I eat, what I put in my mouth, and where I get it from. The evening, I've got to tell you, the evening ritual is a little bit. I'm not as disciplined with the evening as I am with the morning.
Well, here's a couple of advice on the evening. Lay a book out, have it bookmarked to exactly the page you want. And so now before here's the book. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to meditate. This is my evening routine. But before I read that book, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to ground myself again. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to, whatever, whatever it is, dance, whatever it is you want to do. In other words, put something that's easy, like reading 3 paragraphs from a book. It's already bookmarked. You don't have to look for it. So now you're setting yourself up for success, right? You're going to literally trip over success. You have the book. There's the seat where you're going to meditate. But before you even read the book, do, stretching, whatever it is you want to do, stretch the side, a little exercise, do whatever you need to do, breathe, then treat yourself to the book because you already know that's going to get you in a mood. 3 and 8, 3 and 8, go to bed.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I do. And I breathe a lot. I do breathing exercise because I could really identify with Brian because I've suffered depression and anxiety most of my life. And I've been finding since I've been, disciplining myself to do the practices that I'm doing, that's changed a lot. I don't feel the anxiety that I did. Depression, I think, too, is a state of mind. And I think that, I don't know if you said it, but we become identified with something. It's like, I am depressed. No, I'm not. I'm not depression. I feel depressed or I feel sad at the moment. So I kind of realized that I identified with that, the depression. I thought I was depressed or I identified so much with it, but it's not true. I'm not depressed all the time, So it's an identity thing, I think, that you kind of, and sometimes too, I do believe that there's a part of us that holds on to that because we're maybe afraid of change, or I was afraid of change in some way. So we use it for a reason. I used the excuse of depression for a reason. I must have been getting something out of it.
I can tell you that there's a lot of people who just hold on to whatever trauma they had.
Hmm.
And that's their whole identity. Oh, you don't
Hmm.
understand. You don't understand. I was abused. I was this, I feel terrible for you, but I have to be honest with you. The more you hold on to it, the more you repeat it, the less likely you're ever going to get where you want to be. And
Yeah,
that's the other problem. People don't even know where they want to be because they don't put any time into controlling their thinking. They
right.
don't put any ideas in their head. They just don't. They just don't think about where they want to be, and they're it's called your comfort zone, right? The holding on to the trauma makes them comfortable because now people can feel bad for them and they can pity themselves. People hold on to these things, and like you say, it must do something, but it makes you comfortable. I
Hmm.
become so comfortable, I couldn't possibly let go of this trauma.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always been and it's been a struggle because I'm not a victim, and I know I'm not. But there's, there was something there that was a belief, I guess, and I really don't know. And I think the thing that is so important about what you're doing and being in a group like that, we haven't been taught that, Alan. As a species, we haven't been taught that we're more than our thoughts, that we're more than them, and we're more powerful than we ever thought we could be. We've been taught that we're just little human beings, and you follow the, well, I don't
Go to
know, whatever.
school, go to college, get a
Yeah,
job, fall in love, get
politics,
married,
yeah,
have
whatever it
kids,
is, you
have kids,
follow
go to
it.
go to vacation on Disney, go to Disney on your vacations, then you retire, then you'll be happy.
Right. And I've always known that that's not true. And there's been a knowing within me that I knew. Um, but you said too, once you shake up the subconscious and that stuff starts coming up, then you can start looking at it and thinking, is this what I believed? And this is,
Powerless. Once you're aware of it, it's power.
yeah, yeah.
It disintegrates.
And it's scary at first because that's what I said. It's like, are these my thoughts? Or are these my beliefs? And no, they're not. They
And
weren't mine.
what happens is when it's called unpacking, I call it unpacking your subconscious. And when the first big one comes out and go, wow, I had no idea I've been doing that my whole
Mhm,
life. I had no idea. And you realize the minute it comes out, it dissolves. It's just, you don't do that anymore. But here's
mhm,
the thing. When you look back on your life, if you could see your subconscious, you could see all of those things. But what you have to understand is they're not real. They just they're just powerful because you don't see them. They actually
mhm,
aren't real, just thoughts and memories and like, an old recording of something. It's just not
mhm.
real anymore. This, what's in front of you now is real. What you're imagining for your future is real.
Hmm.
That's not real. And yet it holds all the power. And you said the subconscious is very powerful. I'm going to replace those words. The subconscious is unyieldingly powerful. It will always win. You can't win a battle fighting against the invisible enemy. You cannot beat it. So the only thing you can do is poke it and agitate it and get it upset. And the more you disrupt yourself, the more unhappy and unpleasant you are at the moment. But that disruption is what's going to pop these subconscious beliefs out and say, "Hey, I told you we're not doing it anymore." And all of a sudden you say, "Oh, I see why. You're gone. Just you're gone." But you can
Hmm.
actually learn to get rid of all of them. So not only is the subconscious unyielding, you said a lot of things there, Elaine, but we are unique to all animals on the planet. Our species has the ability to put new things in the subconscious. Because if you just do this just simple habit, morning and night, morning and night, morning and night, after 3 weeks, it starts to touch the subconscious. After 3 months, it's now an unconscious, subconscious habit of finding balance every morning and carving out time for yourself every night. It's subconscious. I don't know why I do it. Well, in this case, you started it when you were an adult, so you do know you were the one that did it. In the
Hmm.
old cases, you don't know why you have these subconscious beliefs because you were 2 and 3 and 5 and 7 years old, but you
Hmm.
don't know why. It doesn't matter why or how it got there, or whether it's good or bad. You now have the ability to put new things in your subconscious and to disempower. Notice when the old things are triggering you or trying to pull you down or trying to mess you up. And now you realize what they are, and they're nothing. As soon as you know them, they just evaporate.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think this is why it's important, because it's something that's new. It's not new, but I do believe there's an awakening going on, and I think people are starting to ask a lot of questions that they haven't been asking for a long time, so, or maybe never. So I appreciate the group, and I appreciate what you're doing. It's a wonderful thing.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. All right. Um, I wanted to end at 8:30. I didn't want to keep you guys too long. What would you like to chat about? You're on chapter 2. I have some favorite chapters that aren't chapter 2, but there's I read this book. Well, I have it on my desk, so I read it all the time now. Um, but this is really important stuff, man. I mean, your attitude, your mindset, your perspective, what you choose to think about, what you choose to notice. We can look at the outside world and people could say, "Oh my God, it's a mess. It's this, it's that. Yeah, all the politics, the wars, it's a mess." True, true. You can look at the world and say, "Wow, people are beautiful. They're great. They're amazing. They're compassionate." True, right? If you put your mind into the politics, if you put your mind into the negative, that's who you now are. Within a
Mhm.
certain few weeks, that's who you now become that. And that now becomes you. And or if you put your mind in the positive, or forget all of that and create your own paradise. Create your own set of truths and put your mind in those truths. And within 3 weeks, you'll start to be those things. That's what the cycle of mind is about. But the cycle of mind is different since you haven't really jumped into the details yet, Elaine and Yamina. Hopefully you'll read the book at some point. The cycle of mind is not about attracting like a car or money or something into your life. It's not about the outer world at all. It's about changing your character from the inside to things like kindness and compassion and generosity, health, helping other people, being self-reliant, making decisions about who you are, putting that in front of your face every day instead of the news and the all the chaos. It's putting that in front of your face every day, putting your awareness. If you're going to look at the outside world, then look at these things: honesty, kindness, compassion, generosity, health, helping other people. Keep your mind on those things until one day they start to actually percolate into your own body. and they weave themselves into your life stream. That's what your life stream is about. And again, the life stream is a really nice tool because you can look back and you can see it like this rope that's been weaved with all these different threads. And now today, if you don't make any changes, that life's just going to continue on as it is. But if you start to make changes today, you can change the direction. You can start to put new threads into the rope and it starts going in a whole different direction, giving you different results, not outside results like money or a car or a new husband or a new wife, not nothing on the outside. That's not going to make you happy. It's changing yourself from the inside. And we have that ability. And that's something that if you don't understand how to work with mind and you don't have the discipline to work with mind, you'll never really be your own creator. And as soon as you can change one little thing about yourself, oh shit, if I can do one little thing, if I could prove to you you could change one thing, then I could prove to you you can change anything.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm loving it. I'm excited. As soon as I read part of your book, I feel this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's an excitement there. There's a
Appreciate that. 5-star review on Amazon, just so you know. That's what we
okay.
need.
What
Go,
was
you mean it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What's the name of the book again?
It's The Cycle of Mind.
The Cycle of Mind. Oh my gosh, I have a list of books to read. I just bought Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Mhm.
And then I better slow down. Then I have The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Uh, I don't know where to start. Oh
I'll give
my
you
God.
I formed my opinion of Eckhart Tolle about 25 years ago. I
Oh,
saw him on Oprah, and this had to go back to the 1990s. He was on Oprah, and Oprah, he just said, "Oh, whatever happens is fine. Just flow with the flow." He's an enlightened person. He's enlightened in his own way, and as am I, as are a lot of people, but he's definitely enlightened. But anyway, Oprah said, "So you don't care what happens?" "No, I don't really care. I'm just happy you being me." So she said, "So if we locked you in the studio closet and we all left and no one was there, didn't come back in the morning, you'd be happy? You just sitting there you wouldn't even try to get out?" He goes, "No, I would just be happy in the dark closet." I said, "Fucking idiot." That's the
yeah.
stupidest thing I've ever heard anybody say in my life. Like what I don't know, because I really don't pay any attention to him. I don't pay any attention to Joe Dispenza. I just don't focus on other people at all. But that ruled him out right off the bat. So he done. I couldn't listen to a person that would sit in a closet all night. I'd try to get the fuck out of the closet.
Okay, I didn't know. I'm just
No, it's not a crit. You just triggered me with that's a trigger I have. That's my fault.
Can I express something that I have felt that way? I have felt about certain spiritual teachers, and I'm not saying that they're not. I mean, I think Joe Dispenza's doing a lot of good stuff because I've listened to him, and I think Eckhart Tolle is too. Um, my main thing is that to be spiritual, you have to have a lot of money, because to go to any of these people's gatherings, you have to have a lot of money. Like, a Dispenza thing is like $8,000 a pop. And they say, well, if you really are a creator, you can manifest that and go. So, um, I don't know.
Look,
That has
look, I don't want to, I don't want to say, I don't want to say
mind.
anything about anything. Those guys have written, 100 books. I've written one. So I don't want to say anything. But I will say this, and I understand why people ask for money. I do understand that because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. It's a huge time commitment. Why not get paid? Right. So people say, well, if you don't ask for money, then you're imbalanced. And I said, no, 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 you're misunderstanding. If I were to give you something, if I give you a teaching, you would think like, oh, I should pay you. Why would you pay me with an outer thing? Like that money is a bad dream. Money's not a good thing. Money's a bad idea. But now we're all in it. We're stuck in it, right? We have to deal with it now. I don't want your payment in outer things. I get an inner reward. It's every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If I help Elaine, guess what? That helps me.
Mhm.
Right. That's why I do it. I don't need your money. I have Social Security. I have a few little small pensions. My wife and I have a pretty, simple lifestyle. We don't spend a lot of money. And so I don't need your money. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking your money. But other people do. And I don't have any problem with that. I do understand why they do it. But these guys, Tony Robbins is a good example. He's worth $500 million.
Mhm.
He's probably taken money from a million people, or I don't know, 100,000, let's say 100,000 people really gave him a lot of money. Of those 100,000 people, maybe 2,000 are successful. The other 98,000 are just as bad off as the day they gave him the money. So I can't do that. I have like almost like a repulsion from taking people's money, which my wife said is not a good idea. But like I'm the opposite. I would want to just see you be successful. That would be a great thing for me. It's like coaching Little League. Would I ask for money to help your kid, have a good experience in Little League? Or I just give my time. I teach them everything I can, show them how to play, watching, pick them up and, cheer for him when he gets a hit. What do I need money from the kid or the family? It's just something you do. That's an inner reward.
I agree with you. I do agree with you, Alan. That's why I'm here. It's like, and mine has never been as far as manifesting anything material. And I always thought there was something wrong with me because of that. I live a very comfortable life. I'm very, very grateful for the life I have. But how much do I need? Like, how much do I really need? So mine has been on the path of character and who I am, not what I have. So
Well, you're going to like the rest of the book, I think.
yeah, I know I am. I know I am. So thank you again, Ellen. I'm talking a lot and I don't mean to, but
That's okay. I'll just say this. I need more people in the community to be in the community because I'm going to stop doing these events until there are people in the community that I know actually want it. So I'm going to I've been doing this for a long time. We had a little bit of a flurry there about 3 weeks ago where we got 8, 10, 12 people. And then for whatever reason, it dissipated. And so I'm asking you to, but you guys are here. There's the other 50 people who aren't here who I can't speak to. But real, it only takes a few people to pop in a few times a day and say hi and say, here's what I did this morning. Here's how it's going. Here's what I need help with. Does someone want to be my accountability partner? When's the next class? Ask a question, do something. Because if I don't get that, I'm just because what I actually have started to do about a month ago is I started to write this children's book series. And what I realized is I like the books better than people because the books don't disappoint me. The books don't argue with me. The books are right there where I left them. The story doesn't change. I don't come back and they changed everything. I feel like much more in control of books. And I also think that spending my time and effort writing stories for children that are 6 and 7 and 8 years old and putting these types of limitless and positive thinking, forward thinking ideas into the minds of children is a lot easier than trying to change people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s who've lived a screwed up life their whole life. And now I have to somehow, try to bring them to balance. I think so. So the equation for me seems to be leaning more toward putting more of my effort into the children's books, but I still do want to help people. And so, but if there's no one really in the community, then it's no fun for me. It's just I don't get any joy out of it. I send a message and then 9 hours later, I'm the last person that sent a message. There's no joy in that. It's just frustrating. So I'm just letting you guys know that my expectation, my hope, fingers crossed, is that people will jump back in. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the meditation class again on Sunday. And that might be it for me. I don't know. I'm not going to close the Discord group. But I'm just sharing. I'm just being, just honest with you because it's been really slowed down a lot. And I know Yamina, you've been in there a little bit and appreciate that. But there's no one talking back to you. So we just need more people. That's the bottom line.
I've been on it quite a bit too, but you're right. I don't find a lot of, and that's
Well,
okay
you
too.
were
Would
on it
still
up to
go
you were
on
on
it.
it you were on it a lot
That's
up. You were there up until about 10 days ago, and then you kind of
I know. No, it's only been a couple
disappeared.
of days. It's only been a couple of days since I haven't been on there. Um, but yeah, I agree with you, and I understand what you're saying. I can't say I blame you for you're putting a lot of time and energy into this. So I hope more people do come on.
Yeah, and I have much more that I want to teach too. I mean, I got to get all this stuff on video or in a book. I'm working on another book called The Path of Inner Radiance about a particular Taoist practice that I think is really powerful. So I'm finding that I have this new kind of expression through books. I I think I kind of finished it's going to be a two-book series. I finished book two. I'm still wrestling with book one. But once I get those two books in place, that'll be like the first two in the series, and then I'll use artificial intelligence. It'll just give me 500 more ideas that I can write literally 1,000 books. It's about two friends. It's like Curious George goes to the moon. Curious George meets the president. Curious George goes to the hospital. These two friends go to the moon. These two friends go to the hospital. And each experience, it's just get right thousands and thousands and thousands of these stories. But the whole point is teaching positive values, teaching life lessons, forming positive habits, taking responsibility for your own decisions, listening to people, being kind, being generous, listening, letting people express themselves instead of, talking over them. So, all these values that I teach, this whole array of stuff I can actually put into a children's book. And, I'm now the teacher of the second grade class is telling them about positive habits and listening and being kind. So like I can speak through the teacher, and there's another character who owns a bookstore, and I can speak through him about, the books you should read and all that stuff. So I find it to be a really a good avenue for me for expression. And no matter what happens with the community, I am going to push forward with these kids' books. Um, and The Path of Inner Radiance, and I have 50 other books in my head. I just have to make sure I stay healthy because I want to get it all.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Have you got a video on that massage? Did I hear something about a massage that you do every?
Yeah, I do self massage a lot. I carried a lot of tension, like everybody, a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and it's all in your muscles. And for example, when I massage the bottom of my foot, very painful. Right here is another painful spot. So I'm massaging I've been doing this for about 5 years now. I massage my fingers, my joints every day, watching television all the time. I'm constantly massaging. Every morning I wake up and I give myself like an energy bath.
Mhm.
Like the whole thing,
Is it
take my
tapping?
glasses off. Yeah, I tap my arms. You don't have to. It's just waking your skin up, waking your energy up, trying to get just a fraction of an inch under your skin, put a little
Mhm.
pressure on these, just wake yourself. I take my glasses off, rub my face, rub my hair, my ears. My ears also huge amounts of tension. Now they don't hurt at all. But I'm telling you, I couldn't even touch my ears without it hurting. There
Okay.
was so much, I was carrying my jaw, the whole thing. I just give myself an energy bath. And there are really important chakras, like right here,
Mhm.
your arm. Every time I take a shower, you rub that back
Mhm.
muscle there is really important. The under your arm, really important in your shoulder. There's some really important chakras here, right here as well. I think it's on the left side. There's a really important chakra there that needs to be massaged. I massage my stomach, my intestines, my ribs. So I do a whole thing. I slap my legs, slap my back, slap my legs, and that's one. And then I ground myself, and then I, breathe, and then I do some stretches. I do a spinal stretch. So the answer is I don't have a video on the massage, but I do have a video on the spinal stretch.
Yeah,
Um,
I've done that. I've done that,
yeah,
and it was very interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
I
The
do
other
my
thing,
own.
there's a Taoist concept that I'll share with you. I said it a little bit when I said it, like sometimes in the morning meditation, I'll just try to imagine I have no bones and just imagine the nerves coming out of my coming out of the vertebrae and going down to my legs, and I can just kind of stay with that and feel, just kind of inner sight those nerves. And then then I move up my spine, I have more nerves that go to my, lower intestines, then more nerves, then the nerves that go to the heart and the lungs and the whole, and I just kind of give myself like a nerve bath, I would say you'd call it, maybe, or just like a nerve massage, an inner nerve massage. But there's a Taoist teaching. It's really a martial arts teaching. I don't know what the word is sung, but that's just one word. It means complete relaxation. But one of the things they do that I learned in martial arts is when they meditate. You ever see like when you get something from Amazon, you have to assemble it, and there's the instructions, and they show you the screw and the bracket and the piece of, it's
Uh-huh.
called an explosion diagram, where they don't show, when it's done, the screw is going to be in the bracket. It's all going to be connected, but they show it to you explode. They talk about exploding your joints. So being in such a relaxed nature that you literally can disconnect your shoulder, you can disconnect your elbow, you can disconnect your wrist and all the finger bones, and it all just like completely relaxes. That's another great thing you can do for
Mm-hmm.
relaxation and for energy flow, because all that tension in all of those chakra points in your ears and your jaw and your face muscles, all that tension all over your body blocks the flow of energy. And so
Right.
the more you massage, the more you really release. And this takes years, Elaine. You'll see results in days, you'll see results in weeks, but then you'll look back 3 months from now and you go, oh, totally different. Then 6 months after that, totally different. If you stay up with that energy release, relaxation, massage, chakra activation, you'll notice huge differences over a period of time.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for being here. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, Alan.
You guys have a great night. Hopefully, I'll see you on Discord. Hopefully, you can light
Yes,
it up tonight.
definitely.
Say hi to some folks, and maybe we can resurrect this conversation and keep it going.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Alan.
Thank you, Amina. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time.
Have a
Take
good
care.
No
night,
problem.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.